Happy Monday. This is Jazz from Mystic Priestess School, and welcome to this new week, this new challenge, this new goddess nudge. The objective of these goddess nudges are to give you some indication, some framework, something to think about for the week ahead so that you can take aligned action with the energy as opposed to always being in opposite of the energy. So when you do that, you find more flow and more magic and more ease in your life. So the energy this week might feel on the one hand a little bit heavy, and on the other hand, there's like this boiling point that's coming up. So we kind of need to balance both the earth energy and the fire energy. Hi, Stephanie. So good to see you live. So the full moon that we had yesterday was in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. Capricorn is a one who wants to have things very well laid out. Typically, this is a one who wants to look at the long term for anything that you do. So putting plans in place, long-term plans, not just the short-term plans, but 6 months, a year, 2 years in advance. Capricorn wants to go slow and steady, but constantly toward your goal. So the full moon was in that sign of Capricorn. So it opens up, but also the full moon is about releasing. So in your mind, if you can think of yourself, what is it that you need to release about the long-term plans? Haven't we all had the need to release long-term plans right now? Because we can't. I don't know if you have a small business, if you have kids right now, it's like, what are we going to do in September? Are the kids going to go back to school? Or I've seen some of the memes. Do I buy school supplies or do I buy more wine? Like what am I going to do for September? Right? We don't know. We cannot plan in advance, but part of our minds, we've been trained to plan everything in advance so that we know, when we're young, we know that when we're going to be 20, we're going to have all of these things already accomplished. Or then when we're going to be 30, or by the time we're 40, by the time we're 50, all of these things are going to be planned. So possibly this full moon and eclipse in Capricorn is an invitation to release our need to know the detail of everything in advance. So the goddess nudge is really to stop being in our heads so much and to really drop into the wisdom of our heart, the wisdom of our body, and to be in the experience. Our head at the fourth dimension does not live in the body in the present time. In the fourth dimension, you can be in the past, you can be in the future, you can really imagine different things, different scenarios, right? That's how we can think and interpret. We can remember. We have memories of the past, and sometimes we still live the joy or the pain of the past as if we're there now. The mind does not know. So anything that you think, it feels that it's now, even if it's 20 years ago. Or if you project yourself 20 years in the future, your mind thinks that it's now. So that can work for you or it can work against you. So the invitation then is to really come back to the present time, to this breath, to this moment, to this time of uncertainty, and to try to find a way to be okay with that. And how do you do that? You do that through grounding, through being in the moment, to accepting things as they are now, and accepting that you don't know. And that might be one of the hardest things. It's what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. Nobody really has the answer. And so perhaps we need to let go of that expectation that one person is going to come up with that one answer. Remember that the goddess nudge that wrapped up the week last week was about that. There's no one answer. So how can you be okay with that? So then your goddess nudge in terms of actions for this week, spend more time grounding, spend more time being in nature. So if you can share in the comments below, what is that going to look like for you? Because grounding for me is going to look different than grounding for you. And if you're a client or student of mine, you know that I'm not training you to be like me. I'm not training you to follow my way of doing things, but I want to empower you to find your flow, to find your way of doing things. And it's perfectly okay if it's different than mine. So brainstorm a little bit. Don't be in your head for too long, though. Check into your body. What does my body want right now? What does my heart want right now? What does my soul want right now? And from that place, find at least 4 actions that you can do this week to find more grounding for yourself. So for me, it's spending my mornings outside in the sun, savoring my coffee outside in my garden. It's about being in my garden and taking care of the flowers, making sure they're well watered because it hasn't rained here significantly in about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's about making sure everything is watered, making sure that the dead flowers are taken out, making sure that the weeds are out. So I love spending time in my garden. So that's part of what I do in terms of grounding. And it's also about slowing down because when I'm in my head, things can go really, really, really quickly. And then I get really disappointed that I don't reach my results as quickly as my mind, right? The 3D world is slower than the 4D world. So we have to come back to the body and remember that embodiment is slower than the thinking or the dreaming process. So that's part of what I do. So let me know what that means for you. More grounding and being in the present moment. So that's your goddess nudge for this week. It's also a time to have more creative flow. And that creative flow, again, is going to come to you not from thinking about it, not from strategizing it, not from seeing like way in the future with a creative flow, but again, from being in the present moment, from being in your body, from that embodiment. And instead of thinking that, okay, I want to paint a picture, so I need a canvas, I need these paints, I need this, and maybe I'm going to paint, this picture that's in your mind, but perhaps it's just allowing it to rise up and using whatever tools that you have at your disposal and just allowing something to rise from you. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to follow any paint by numbers. I mean, if that's your creativity, that's great, but the invitation is really to allow it to rise from your soul, from your heart, and be expressed on paper or with rocks formation or with crystals or with glitter or the clothes that you wear or something that you do different with your hair, right? Just think of art as a medium of self-expression, and it can be different from person to person, and that's perfectly fine. So again, your goddess nudges and actions this week, and we're going to circle back to that on Friday to see how you've been doing with those. So got brainstorm 4 actions for being grounded and in the present moment. And then you'll have to do that this week because I'll be checking in on you on Friday and see how things have gone for you. And then at least one creative self-expression, one work of art, whatever that means for you, but just create something that really comes up from your soul and is expressed. So at least one thing this week. And if you want more tips on that, there are 4 fire ceremonies and a candle meditation that I've just uploaded yesterday in the Goddess Activation Summer Experience. The last day to register is today. So if you want to join me, it's a very small group of women journeying to activate the goddesses within, just to find more intuitive flow and to have more fun and connect together this summer. So the link is in the description of this video. If you feel called, register today, and I would be happy to welcome you in this sacred circle. So there you have it. It's your goddess nudge for this week. Have fun with it. Don't make it an extra chore. Just allow it to be. And let me know how it goes. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. Okay, bye for now.